I'm Maddie, and if you haven't seen the show before, shit, this is Kristen.
I know. Oh. That's me.
Bad at this.
Oh, I mean, it's so hard to get used to.
So welcome, guys. Hope you're having a good weekend. I will go ahead and preface this that Kristen and I are both tired, so we'll see how you all are doing. All of us together. So, but welcome.
It's been a long weekend, long week.
So, Kristen, I reckon we should talk about where we buy our comic books, don't you?
I reckon we should. And we're allowed to say that because we're in Kentucky.
Yeah. We can say reckon, we can say fixin' to. Hello, Larry.
Oh,
Listen,
hey.
can we just give a quick shout out to Larry? Because I've really appreciated all of Larry's comments and feedback, and I love seeing what Larry's read. So thanks, Larry.
Larry's
also, I really like your icon. Hey, Omnibus guy. How are you doing?
What's up? Thanks for joining us. But yeah, we reckon. I reckon
we should talk about to make an in-stock trades order.
I reckon I recently did because they have up to 50% off your collected editions. The best deals truly around. And we're not even just saying that because they're our sponsor. Like, they are fabulous. The packaging's amazing. I never have to worry about getting my books all messed up. But, if that happens to happen because the mail, they have the best customer service around. So you should check them out if you haven't. They're amazing. My most recent order, I will tell you what it was. I finally got the Tea Dragon Festival. I'm already asleep, guys. I know. I took too long to get that. So I got that. I got the Angel Legacy Edition.
Yeah,
which you got. Yeah. Those are nice quality, right? We'll
talk about that too.
Definitely. And I also picked up the new Angel hardcover that came out.
Shit,
and if you order right now, I think today is the last day, or maybe tomorrow. I should check my email. There is a 3% off discount code you can use.
Man. I have no money. Anyone want to donate that Angel book to me?
It'll probably be around.
I hope so.
I don't think it's in high demand. Weekend 2 is the checkout code you can use. It ends tonight. So if you're watching this and you see any books that we talk about, we're going to talk about some books today that you like and you want to get, hit up that discount code. 3%, that's fantastic.
That's true. Quick in-stock trade story. When Omar first told me about in-stock trades, it was like it opened a whole new world to me when I started buying comics. Because I was buying all my comics either on Amazon or half-price books or at my local comic book store, which I still go shopping at my local comic book store. But when he showed this to me, I was like, what is this secret society? And I still slip it in there. And I mean to people all the time. This isn't just me doing a plug. I'm just telling my story. But I was at either a Second and Charles. I think I could have been Second Charles. I might have been that same day I saw you. Or was it Half Price Books? When I just creepily was like, oh, it was Barnes & Noble. These people were talking about comics. Oh, it's pretty expensive. And I just rolled up. I was like, have you ordered from in-stock?
Did they look at you like they were crazy, or did they praise you because you're their hero, their discount hero?
I'm not really sure. Sometimes I get in this it's I don't know, a trance. And I look at Junji Ito character. I'm like, have you heard about in-stock trades? Did you know that you can get your books 20% off? Why are you shopping here in this bookstore?
No one wants to pay cover price for anything.
You could be at home.
You could be at home.
Anyways, that's just my quick story about that.
Love it.
So yeah, before we get into recent reads and stuff, I think we should both be showing off this Angel Legacy edition. You already get yours in?
No, sadly not. Mine is in the mail. Please show me yours. I know it's chunky and delicious looking though.
Yeah, so this is what the new Legacy edition looks like. It's pretty chunky. It's by Boom.
Good spine.
Yeah, it's a nice, thick, held together trade. I'm pretty happy with it. The page quality is really nice. It feels pretty thick. These pages do, in comparison to some other. Oh, sorry. In comparison to some other trades, I'm excited about this. I've never read these. because this is from seasons 1 and 2 of Angel. Um, and this is the first in a series of books collecting every issue of Angel in chronological order, including hard to find out of print stories. So I guess the idea is that we'll just keep getting these.
Which is great. And that is really cool when they like put together collections of stuff that is chronological order.
Mm-hmm.
Because so much came out at different times. So at least there you're like, oh, okay, this is set between seasons 1 and 2. I know what's happening here. Because otherwise sometimes you jump in and they don't even tell you. And it's like, oh, well, let's see. Gunn is here, so I think I know where I'm at. Like,
yeah, and that's not even just an Angel thing. I feel like a lot of comic book series suffer from that. But yeah, definitely Buffyverse especially. You and I have talked extensively about just how hard it is to collect these because there's not a single guide online that is helpful. Now, usually that means, hey, Maddie, there's not a good guide. Why don't you make one and like help out your fellow comic book collector? I still don't know.
And it's also, at this point, it's so hard because everything is literally out of print. Like, even if it's not hard to find or expensive, half of it is, and then the other half's just confusing. So this eliminates a lot of that because they're going to do it with Buffy too. So all that stuff that you can't find is going to be collected in some way. I know people are mad it's not a hardcover, but it looks nice to me. I'm in.
It's attractive. Like, I think the big takeaway from this is if we're going to get more of these legacy editions from Buffyverse, I think we can expect this same similar spine. I don't know if it'll be the same color or not, but a similar layout. Now imagine all that together.
Beautiful.
It's going to be perfect. Because I'm sitting across from my Buffy shelf right now, and I can tell you that
you're annoyed by
aside from the Buffy library editions, everything else is a whole ass mess.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that'll be really nice. That spine looks exactly like the Firefly Legacy Edition, except that one's a different color.
Yeah.
So if you're really into the Whedonverse and you collect those two, they'll look really nice together. And that's nice.
Hayden said, I wonder how the origin will fit in with the Buffy one since it was released later but set earlier. Yeah, I'm not sure.
It's chronological, so they're going to take whatever's earlier and put it together.
So that Angel book is previous stuff from other publishers, so I can catch up with this new Boom stuff. Yeah, so the idea is when Boom got the licensing rights to all the Buffyverse books, and we didn't expect this to happen either, but they set out to, I guess what we're seeing, hopefully, I guess it depends on sales, but they'll be doing these legacy editions of collecting all of the stuff from previous owners. Because when this first started, Angel did, I assume everything started with IDW because the Angel After the Fall did. So I assume prior to that, it was also IDW.
And at one point, a period of time, like there was a weird thing with Spike, where Spike was IDW, but then finally Dark Horse was able to put him in Buffy books, and it was like a really confusing licensing deal. So thankfully, that will all be lumped together too.
Yeah,
I will say, Larry, you don't need to read this old stuff to understand the new stuff at all.
No,
that's a whole new universe. So I don't know if you knew that, but you can just jump into that.
Yeah, so the newest Boom stuff is completely new. It's not related to anything. If you've never touched Angel or Buffy comic books or the show, you'd be fine. And I will say that, like, a lot of, at the beginning of these older collected stuff, these are set earlier, season 1 and 2. So if you've watched Angel at all, it's not like you need to know anything going in. But if you are interested in continuing Buffy or Angel after the show ends, that's when you will jump into the comics. And for Buffy, that's the super out of print Dark Horse library editions. And with Angel, that's IDW's Angel After the Fall, which I have found these first 4 volumes of Angel After the Fall in so many half-price books.
Yeah, I have to.
What's going on?
I think those were I think people just don't care about those. A lot of people hated those, honestly. But if you are looking around, I liked it too. But, I like a lot of stuff people hate. People hate the new series, and I like it. So, but yeah, if you have a half-price book that's near you, or even online, I'm sure you can get them for a pretty good deal. Although eventually they will be collected within this Legacy Edition. Again, per sales, probably.
Yeah, and I guess that'll really dictate what's going to happen. And then you ordered the Angel 20th Anniversary Edition hardcover. So
yes,
that is...
the new stuff.
0 through 4 of the new series. but in a pretty hardcover, right?
Yeah, there's like blood on the cover, and I'm like, I need that. I'm
Yeah,
sure
it
it's a
looks cool.
standard size hardcover, but I'm in. I wanna read it.
Yeah, I
I've
think
already read all that actually. I liked it, but I just need
you'll get
to.
one before I do, so I want you to tell me what it looks like.
Okay, I'll show you.
Hopefully I don't think that'll go out of print. I'm hoping so.
Yeah,
If
I
they
think
can,
it's gonna stay around.
if I can get a couple more weeks, then I'll buy it.
Wait until Black Friday.
Oh yeah, ooh, it's coming up. I need to like not spend money. I'm getting married. I should like stop. I don't know how. So we could look at the recent releases. So we both, obviously we both recommend the Angel books. As far as other recent releases, Naomi season 1 hardcover drop from DC. I haven't read any of that yet, but I do know that that has sold out like everywhere.
People are hyping
Not the hardcover, but the issues themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably one worth picking up.
Definitely. Also, the Archie Varsity Edition hardcover volume 2. Where'd I put my Archie? These are beautiful. But these, so well, cute. It looks like this one, but it's red. And how cute is that? It's like a little yearbook, and they're really nice. And come on. And these are good stories. I mean, it's Mark Waid. Come on.
Yeah, so it's worth it. I like anything he does. I'll probably pick those up. I haven't read any Archie. I think maybe I read a little bit of Archie on like Comixology years ago. But that Legacy edition you have looks so nice. Or Legacy, but the edition you have, so I want to get it.
Definitely.
And it looks like there's a new Wonder Woman hardcover released. I'm still not sure. DC with all that they've been changing with their rebranding and stuff, it's just really hard for me to figure out where to jump back in. I think a lot of people are having that trouble. It's like as collectors, like, do we make that jump or not? And with DC canceling literally everything all the time.
Yeah, who knows, right? Who knows what's going to happen?
It's been crazy, like with their rebranding and then restructuring of their department.
Who knows?
I don't know.
I'll probably eventually pick up Ascender, which is the follow-up to Descender. The first trade is out, and if you get it on in-stock trades, it's $5.79. Add that 3%, and that's crazy. So that's worth it.
Oh, and that Black Canary Ignite by Meg Cabot. Then it's another DC Ink, DC Zoom, DC Ink. That was Ink. Anyways,
I thought it was Ink too.
It's another of the young adult graphic novel line, and that is $5 right
That's
now
crazy.
on in-stock trades. It's 50% off. It's usually $10. That's a really good deal.
That's worth a blind buy, I think.
Hi from New Zealand. Love the show. Oh, thank you.
Aww.
My bank account always cries after I watch the show, and you need to buy new books you guys have talked about, but worth it. You know what? I feel the same way after, like with Kristen and Furia and Omar. I'm always
like always adding stuff, always upset about it. Yeah, I feel that.
Buffy's my favorite show ever, but the comics I wasn't fully grounded in. Oh well, Larry, let me tell you. Well, unfortunately for you.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Well, the season stuff is the best stuff, and that's not being reprinted yet. Unfortunately.
Yeah. I would say if you want to read it, just read them digitally for now with hopes that Boom will reprint them because everything is wicked out of print. So unless you happen to get lucky or you just want the adventure of like trying to find these out of print books for yourself, I would recommend just reading them digitally or, I mean, you can make it the trades. I always act as if the trades are I'm like, it's only library editions.
Yeah, I think the trades are still pretty available. You could get a lot on shelves at local comic shops too. Like I see them a lot when I'm like traveling. So there's that, and they're all on Comixology Unlimited. Like maybe not all of them, but a lot of them.
Yeah,
for free.
DC doesn't cancel everything, just everything I want. Yeah, I get that.
Sad.
Plus side of the Legacy editions, I can get rid of the Dark Horse Omnibus editions.
Yeah, I have those.
They're nice chunky trades, but would you rather have a short chunky trade or
or an actual trade size? Yeah, that's my big thing. I'm like annoyed that they're so small.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are way better.
DC won't put out consistent deluxe editions, but will put out a Wonder Woman Year 1 deluxe to try and cash grab. Yeah. Listen. Makes me so sad. Half Price Books has Snowpiercer and Grass Kings for cheap. Any opinions on either of them? I've heard really good things about Snowpiercer, but I haven't read it. Have you?
And I haven't, but I've read the first 2 volumes of Grass Kings. Not the last one, but I did really enjoy the first 2. So, for what that's worth. There's only 3.
So yeah, I guess we can go ahead and talk about recent reads, and if we have time at the end and feel like jumping into some upcoming books to talk about, we can talk about those too.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to start with this book because I feel like you need to know about it.
Tell me about it.
It is called Catboy.
Oh, I've been dying to read
Have
that.
you?
Ooh, thank you for reminding me it exists. Let me just put that hold on the library. Thank you.
Yes, and I made my library buy this for me. So,
oh my gosh.
not
Okay.
for me, for the library.
Everything.
But, it's by Benji Nates, and I adore her art, okay? But it's about this girl who, let's see, at the beginning here. She's hanging out with Henry, and she says, Henry's my best friend, but I wish we could, actually hang out, together and talk and stuff. And so then he turns into, this humanoid cat and walks around with her and talks, and he doesn't, understand things and still, has weird cat behaviors. So it's super, super weird in parts, but, kind of laugh out loud funny in other parts.
Yeah.
He'll just start, scratching things when he shouldn't, and he also she doesn't have quote unquote boy clothes, so he wears dresses that like the whole time, and it's really great. So I don't know, it's super quirky, it's super indie too. Silver Sprocket puts this out, and it's just a quirky, weird story that I absolutely had a ton of fun with. So I think it's a laugh out loud funny. You're gonna enjoy it. For sure.
I've been dying to read it. Ever since I saw that cover, I was like, well, that looks like a me book.
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt. So this was really fun. You want me to just speed through these? I can do that.
You can, or we can go back and forth, whatever.
You can go. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do that.
You're going to be so proud of me. I mean, I know that we talked about, some of the books that I've gotten from the library in my last, video I think I shared when I picked up, but I finally read it. I'm just like you guys. My Brother's Husband.
It's so good, right?
Oh my god.
So
okay, everyone, please read My Brother's Husband. It's by why do they spell it this way? I gotta tell you, sometimes the way people spell Japanese names, I just don't understand. It's by Gengoro Tagame. Unless he spells his name actually. Oh, he puts an H at the end. What's going on? Are you good? Gengoro Tagame. Anyway, so man, this is so good. So it's a manga style, but not like your usual manga style, I'd say. And we talked about the show before, but it's been quite a long time since you and Freya talked about it. But about this this single dad, basically, and his daughter, and then one day he's visited by his twin brother's husband, but his twin brother just passed away, and his twin brother's husband is this large Canadian dude, and they kind of connect, and there's this wonderful this experience of them spending time together, and this Canadian guy just kind of revisiting spots that his husband always told him about, and kind of connecting with his past husband's brother, and just talking about homosexuality in Japan, while also just talking about how these family values work, and talk about other parts of Japanese society of as far as people not being that comfortable with touch, right, and PDA, and not just PDA romantic, but even just familial or platonic PDA. Oh man, oh my god, it was so good. I think I cried a little bit. I don't remember when.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure I cried a little bit.
Maybe the drunk scene, probably. I think probably no. Oh, I can't talk about with that kid.
Yeah.
It comes to the house.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
I really, really recommend it. I think I think anybody can get something from this. Honestly, I don't think you have to be one type of reader to see the value in this story. I think if you're a parent, you're going to like it. I think if you're LGBT, you're going to like it. I think if you're interested in international differences between international culture, you're going to like it. If you're interested in Japanese culture at all, or if you've been to Japan or studied it or whatever, I think you're gonna get a lot from this book. I used to live in Japan, and I was like, oh man, this is please, this is so good.
It's so good. And the art, I love the art in that.
I'm gonna buy this for sure. My library doesn't have the second volume.
Oh.
So I guess I need to like go to my library and spend time there and actually be involved and not just check out books and show up and pick them up. Go
online and suggest a purchase and make them get volume 2. Because that's what I do.
It's so good. If I had read this in college, I would have done some like report about it or something. It's so good.
It's so emotional and heartfelt and just unlike anything I've ever read. And that's saying something, right? Like, it is a really unique, wonderful story.
So good.
So good. So speaking of making my library get stuff, here's another one. And we both adore her, and you've been talking about her a lot lately. Tilly Walden.
My
The
girl.
End of Summer. Did you read this one?
No.
Okay. Here's the deal. I liked this, but it was probably my least favorite Tilly so far. It is quite short. It's one of her
short ones,
like one of the tiny ones. Yeah. Maybe not as tiny as like A City Inside, but you know, classic Tilly stuff. But she, it was one of her early on comics. They do a whole thing about it at the beginning. Maybe her professor or something. I don't know. I think she did this in college, and I enjoyed it. But one of the criticisms she gets a lot, which I can kind of understand, is not being able to tell characters apart.
Yeah.
And especially when there's not like color, that makes it harder. So this is black and white, and sometimes I was like, I don't know who this is because it looks just like this other character, right? And the thing that got me the most is, so I don't know how to describe the story. It was different, which is her, and I love that. Pretty much there's like this whole, like, I guess society of people who live in this big, I don't know if it's a mansion, some kind of huge building, and every winter at the end of the summer, that's why it's called the end of summer, they lock the doors and they kind of lock themselves inside. So I guess the cold is so cold that it like kills you. I don't know. Some kind of other world, and that's what happens. So then all this stuff happens with all the different characters inside, and you know, one of them's sick, and this boy who's sick has this very large cat that he rides around on to save his strength. I'm trying to get a good picture of the cat, which, you know, of course I love that. But, you know, I'm going to kind of have to spoil it, but there was a character death of a certain animal that was super horrific. And I mean, like, it's shown like just once, but you know how I am with animal abuse and animal death, and I can't handle it. So that really got to me because I felt like it was really unnecessary.
Yeah.
So that stayed with me, and I didn't like what was going on. And also I was kind of confused with some of this. So I still enjoyed it. I feel like I'd give it like 3 out of 5 stars.
Yeah.
I still enjoyed it because I still love her, and I felt the concept was unique. But there are certain things that happen where I'm like, I don't understand the point of this, and the ending left some to be desired too. But so I don't know. I don't own this. I made my library buy it. I'm kind of happy about that. Like, I love her, but I'm like okay with that. So I love everything else. This is my only kind of mediocre read from her. So I'll be interested if you ever get this. Make your library get it.
Yeah. Well, I think, you know, I was just thinking, I think we should do, because I made a suggestion to you earlier before the show that once a month we should start doing either like a publisher specific video or an author specific video, because sometimes, you know, it's hard when you're doing a weekly show to think, okay, what am I going to talk about this time? And recent reads is easy, hauls are easy, but it's good to mix it up, right? So totally. I think it'd be good for every month to dedicate something to one publisher or writer or something, and I'm happy to take suggestions. But I think Tilly would be a great one. And
Tilly,
not only rate them, but just discuss.
Yeah, Tilly would be an amazing one. And for a second, I feel like both of those things we both mutually love, especially right now. Yeah, that would be really fun.
Before I talk about my next one, Thank you, Lionheart. I'm glad you liked it. He said, Kristen, you're up. I think next time in Owensboro,
We could do Cribs episode.
I'll go film Kristen's room tour video, and we'll make that happen.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, maybe we could do can we do like a hokey comic book shopping video?
Yes.
I want like sitcom music.
Yes. Oh, it's gonna be like goofy. That's what it's gonna be.
Yeah, and I want a whole like starring Maddie,
yeah.
and Kristen,
and Buffy and Willow.
That's what I want. So it'll happen.
Yeah.
I don't know when.
Sometime.
And it'll also depend on how much energy Kristen and I have that day. Will we want to do something? Or will we just be lazy and talk at the pizza place for 5 hours? I don't know.
I mean, probably that.
Probably that.
Let's be real.
Fangirls book club where everyone votes and reads the same book.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I like that.
Killing it, Hayden.
Yeah, killing it. All right, guys. Leave your comments for suggestions for the Fangirls book club November. We want to know. We're all going to read the same book. Let us know what you want to read.
Okay, I love this. Okay, once a month, Fangirls book club. Also, once a month, author-specific or publisher-specific episode. And then the other two can just be catch-alls where it's either hauls or recent reads or something else depending on what's going on.
Yep, and we want to know all your comments. Leave them below. You can leave them in the chat right now. We may forget, so leave a comment later, please.
I'll try to remember to make a post on Instagram and Twitter and stuff.
Yes, yes.
And thank you, David.
Oh, so nice. So nice.
So I also read, I think you read it recently too, Shiver.
Yes.
Girl.
That last story.
Okay. Yeah, the last story. I remember you told me, you were like, man, it was really weird, this one. And I was reading through, it was like, oh, everything seems okay. Mm-hmm. And then I got to the last story, and I was like, I see what got Kristen.
Yeah, like I remember
Shiver. Your reaction, Supergirl being super, and that one splash page.
Oh,
I was like, yeah, this is going to do it.
But even just, okay. So we could say what the story is about. So that I don't mean to interrupt your review.
Oh, no, please.
But I did love Shiver. It's a collection of short stories by Junji Ito. That last story is about a family who lives above, what was it, a barbecue restaurant?
Yeah, I think it's like here, I've got it right here. Let me look real quick. A yakiniku, yeah. So it's like a fried meat barbecue, yakiniku barbecue restaurant.
So because of that, their dad like owns the restaurant, and the oil from it, for some reason the building's poorly ventilated, right? And the oil like seeps into the walls and gets worse and worse every day, I guess. It was very gross. One of the kids starts drinking the oil. Like, there's a lot of oil.
Kristen's issue with this is some pimple-related stuff.
Not even just basic.
It's bad.
It's real bad. When he was like over the other one, and it.
Yeah, don't even think about it.
No.
Gross.
It's really gross.
So for those of you who like Junji Ito, I thought this was really fun. There's a lot of really cool stories in here. I was trying to think of one I liked the most over the others.
I like the was that, I think that was a collection with the record.
Yeah,
I really like the
out.
Yeah.
I did like the one with the jade beetle and the girl with all the holes in her body.
Oh yeah.
That was really
that was crazy. Yeah.
And the weird head blooms.
Yes. Yes, that was. I mean, his stuff is just so unique. Yeah, it's gross, but it's unique.
Well, they got the guy who's his whole family puts on more heads.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Anyways, Shiver's really fun, and I think it's a good break too, because when you read other Junji Ito books, there's usually like one theme throughout the whole book, and they're usually pretty thick trades. And so they can actually take a long time to read, which is nice. It's kind of refreshing to have something, especially a manga, that takes a while to read. Tomie takes a while. Uzumaki takes a while. Solving Classroom, not so much. The Cat Diary, not so much. But this one's just a bunch of short stories, so it's pretty quick to get through. Everything gets resolved. I do recommend. I liked it. I like everything Junji Ito.
Yeah.
But be warned about the last story in
Yeah.
the book, please.
I still read it and enjoyed it, but it was incredibly gross.
It was a little much for me. I'm not somebody who minds that kind of stuff, but the amount that they did.
Yeah. Just that the visuals. I mean, hey, he's good at what he does, because I still think about it and get grossed out.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Oh, we're getting some suggestions. We can look through them real quick if you would like.
Yeah.
David recommends Monstrous.
It's a good one.
Which we could do, because I have that really pretty hardcover I haven't read. Immortal Hulk Volume 1 hardcover. I haven't read it, but you have.
I read the first trade.
Okay, so that's a good option.
Yeah, that's a good option.
We can go back and collect these, and maybe I'll make a survey thing or something. Is that lame?
No, I like surveys. Everyone loves quizzes.
Larry, we'll for sure do like a second show.
Oh yeah,
no question. David, we actually last week we did our show about the Ringo Award winners.
Yeah, there's a lot of people we liked. Let's do a quick recap at the top of my head. We love Terry Moore, so we were excited to see he won the. Yeah.
Saga, a lot of Saga winners.
Brian K. Vaughan stuff, yeah. I was trying to remember. I'm like, I don't know.
Well, a lot of it there was some stuff we hadn't read. I think Immortal Hulk, didn't it win?
It tied with something, right?
Oh, it tied, yeah.
Yeah.
And then a lot of the fan favorites were webtoons, which I haven't read like any.
Yeah, I hadn't either.
Hayden suggested that Angel Legacy should be a book club pick 1 month. I mean, we'd be fine with that.
Yeah, that would be fun. I don't know who else would be in that, other than you, Hayden, which was great. But
Hayden also just a Miss Marvel one to honor Faria.
Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah.
Iron Carter says Fiona Staples. Oh yeah, sure.
The best.
Real quick, Kristen, I know that you have that Scrooge McDuck sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen the Fantagraphics slipcase editions of The Life and Times of Scrooge McDuck? I need to get
it. Yes, I have seen that. It looks very nice. But if you have the Don Rosa Library editions that they put out, you don't need that. It is literally in those editions. So I have all of those, so I'm not going to pick it up because it is an exact repeat. In fact, it has less than the library ones have. There's like more supplemental material of him talking about the stories and stuff like that you don't get in those. That's coming directly from Don Rosa, because people have been asking about it, and he's been like, he has a group on Facebook, and he's been like, yeah, it's exactly the same. I don't even know why people are buying this. So I'm like, yeah, I don't need that. It's beautiful though, and if you haven't read those stories, that's a great way to do it.
All right.
Is it me?
My turn or your turn? I think it's your turn.
Yeah. So I read a DC book, Maddie.
Kristen.
What's happening? You are influencing me. Except I don't think you've read this yet, but I think you're going to, because of Marika Tamaki.
Oh yeah, how is it?
Harley Quinn Breaking Glass. I loved this.
Finally, DC Inc. won.
Finally, DC Inc. So, we've been talking about these DC Inc. books. I know. I knew. And the art, though, is by the guy who did the Flintstones.
Really?
Yeah, and this, the color work and the art, oh my gosh. So just to do a quick recap, Harley is obviously a teenager in this. I say obviously because they all are, right?
Yeah, and every one of the DC Inc. ones, they're all teenagers.
So she's a teenager. She's heading to see her grandmother in Gotham because her mom got a job on a cruise ship and can't take care of her. So she's like, go see your grandma. So she's heading there to see her grandma, and she gets to her apartment. Let me try to find that. And instead of her grandmother, there's this fantastic large drag queen chilling. And he's like, oh, your grandma died. But I'll take you in. So they all call him Mama, which I love, right? So she calls him Mama too. And she just gets kind of roped into this lovely group of gay men and drag queens. Girl, I'm telling you, it has us written all over. It's so good, right?
God.
So
Rika Ramaki does it again.
I know.
So
and
good.
I mean, I loved her writing in this. And so she goes to school because she has a place to stay, and she meets Ivy, who is this badass, like, activist, super feminist. She cares about everything, right? She's vegetarian. Like, she's got, like, her priorities, and she's that girl, but, like, she's that girl in the best way. Like, I love her. I loved her in this. I want to see more and more of this. Like, so the big story in this is there's this company that I don't know. I forget their name. But they're like these super rich mogul types, right? This horrible family who's like rude to everybody and wants to take over this part of town of Gotham that Mama and Harley are living in.
Yeah.
So they buy out that like apartment building they're in, and they're like, and Mama's like the landlord of. And they're like, we're going to take this over and, build these coffee shops and like all this, corporate nonsense that we're just going to take it over and raise the rent so you can't live here anymore. So Harley's upset because she's like, one, I'm not going to have a place to live anymore. But two, there's an injustice here and it's terrible. And Ivy, who's totally an activist and like within her family, she's like, we got to stop this. We got to protest. So like there's a lot of that. And people are like throwing bricks and breaking glass. Guys, the title. The book. And wanting them to like, I think that was thrown within the gay bar, I think. Yeah. Maybe? I don't know. I forget. But like there's a whole thing happening. So she ends up meeting this. Let me try to find. I'm like talking and I don't know where these pages are. I apologize. But she does run into the Joker, and I'm trying to find him in this because he looks. I like how he looks. So he's wearing, a mask.
Okay.
And she's like, who are you? And he's like, the Joker. And she's like, the who? The what? So she keeps running into him in the middle of the night. And she's going out in the middle of the night to like, one, just to think and try to deal with everything that's going on. But then, of course, she gets into trouble with him. And he's like, I can help you bring these people down. We got to save Mama. We got to save the town. So I won't get into more than that. But it's so good. And I will say, though, the resolution at the end made me wonder if they're going to bring back these characters. And I really hope they do. Because I was kind of like, but I want to know more of what happens after this. So, but it was great. It was great. Highly recommend.
That makes me feel really good. Because so far with all the DC Inc., they've been okay. And when they're done, I'm like, okay. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm still not going to keep reading everyone that comes out.
I get it, yeah.
Like, I'm gonna. Like, this new Black Canary, I'm gonna read it. When Beast Boy comes out, I'm gonna read it. So I'm so glad to hear that you got it, and you've gotten me. I'm hooked. I'm in.
I mean, yeah, if that didn't get you, I don't know what's gonna get you. But it was the characterization in this. It's only my second Harley Quinn book ever. My only other experience is Paul Dini's Mad Love.
Yeah.
Which, guys, I know everybody loves it. I thought it was fine. So, but I loved this. So I was like, oh man, I wish I had more
I think
of
you'd
this,
like
though.
some more.
Oh, I'm sure I would.
So.
It's not of a lack of interest, just a lack of not having it,
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Well, and she has another character too that I think she's really good, but it's characters like her and characters like the Joker that are so blown up in American media. Same with Batman and some other ones. It can be really hard to figure out what to read, or I don't know. You get an image of it. That's how I felt about Deadpool for years until the Deadpool movie, and I really liked it. But I went in thinking this is going to be garbage because in the con scene, I had seen these Deadpools everywhere.
Yeah,
and I was like
annoying, obnoxious. Yeah,
and then Harley Quinn, and I'm never going to dog anybody for cosplaying her. But again, it's just so much, and people that didn't really know the character either. But I was like, I don't know. And now I love her. So, I do recommend. I think the DC Rebirth Harley Quinn's pretty good.
I hear that, and I hear great things about New 52. So I would like to read both of those.
I think she's super fun in it, and I really like her. It really turned me around on her. Eventually, ads breaking classic. Same. So Hayden wanted to know Since you like ducks, have you ever watched Count Duckula?
I don't know what that is.
I don't either.
I'm gonna have to look it up, Hayden. I do like ducks.
Larry says at least the ink towels at least good look good on the shelf. They do.
Yeah.
And especially
Yeah,
like
these are good
me and
spines,
Kristen. Yeah, because I love picking up. I love reading other comics too that are like marketed just towards adults, but there's something comforting about reading young adult novels.
Yeah, there's something. It's comforting. It's more. It feels more relatable because like
Yeah,
so much of this wasn't so otherworldly as you see a lot in superhero books. It was very much like Ivy was just Ivy girl, you know, and she had her priorities straight and no powers or anything. She's just, you know, and same with Harley. She just had an attitude.
yeah, and you know, I'm sure there's like we probably have a whole big show about that, but there's a lack of pretension for one, and then also I'm sure it has a lot to do about who it gets marketed to.
Yeah,
because you got to think about it. Like, I'm sure that a lot of writers face a lot of pressure when they're writing for the big two because of the audience they have to like listen to or adhere to, and a lot of that's like older comic book readers, you know, because they're expecting like a certain kind of format, the way the story goes, and amount of action, you know. But when you have a graphic novel like this that's marketed more to younger adults or like all ages, you know, and you don't have to deal with the issue by issue.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about that. You can have a nice continuous story. You don't have to worry about, okay, I need to make sure every issue sells well. You can just have like, okay, I'm writing a graphic novel.
Truly. And I mean, like we were talking about earlier, these list price, $17 for this. You know, you're going to get this for really cheap on IST.
Oh, yeah.
And easily, I mean, if you're a library person, I got this from my library, they're probably going to all be at the library because libraries are great about putting out young adult stuff and it being there. Also, there's not continuity to deal with. That was my favorite part. I'm like, I don't need to know anything about these characters because I'm getting introduced to them, and it's great. Like,
Mad Love is great, but it's better as a Batman animated series episode. I guess, is that what that's from?
Yeah, I don't know which came first, but I haven't seen that. I just read it, and I was just like, that's fine, I guess.
For Count Duckula. All the episodes are on YouTube. He's a vegetarian vampire dog. It reminds me of the Ketchup Vampires. I don't know if anybody else ever watched that cartoon movie.
I gotta check out Count Duckula. That sounds fabulous.
The Connor and Palmiotti, Palmiotti run on Harley is just about the funniest comic ever. I've heard really good things about it.
Yeah, and these Omnis are very nice looking.
With Harley. I don't feel the same way about her Marvel, but I think Connor's really good with Harley. Talking about DC, did you ever read Jeff Lemire's first issue of Inferior 5? I thought it was awesome. I haven't. I've only actually read one Jeff Lemire book, and I think it was one of his like early ones.
I mean, girl, we gotta figure this out.
I know. Listen, you gotta fix me. I think I even have it right here. It was one of those donated ones, and it's like very, very, very early work because it was.
I saw this on your book tour. It's Lost Dogs.
Yeah, Lost Dogs,
and that's like his first thing he ever did. Yeah,
that's the only thing I read, and
it's not amazing. It's not amazing though compared to everything else. Like I liked it,
and I loved it. So
it's been a long time since I read it. I'm sure I loved it, but I'm just saying, it gets better.
Oh, Hayden says the stuff after Connor and Palmiotti is really bad. I'll take your word for it. I trust you.
I think what we need to do, Maddie, is we need to like take turns, or maybe we'll do like 2 books at a time. Like you give me a book to read, and I'll give you a book to read. We'll both read both of them. Because I mean, Jeff Lemire would be something fun to explore, especially you love Lost Dogs. I mean, the fact that you haven't read Essex County, girl.
I would love that. See, another good episode idea.
Yeah. We're sleep deprived and we're coming up with ideas.
Let's do it. We'll remember it tomorrow. That's the hope.
Hopefully.
I mean, honestly, with as much as I go to the library, we can totally do that. And then I can recommend you some DC.
Yeah, let's do it.
I would love that. So the other thing I read, I know that Freya read this, but Infidel, which is a horror book, and it was awesome.
I've heard.
So good. I don't even know if I can really explain this book to you, but it was It was so good. I think if you need to pick a horror book for the month, Infidel, great idea. The art is really cool. Basically, it centers around this Muslim. Well, it switches around, but basically, it's two Muslim friends, or at least they were raised that way. And they don't. You wouldn't see them and think that they adhere to more traditional values, I guess, despite what you see on the cover. But they definitely both come from that heritage, and they're living in the same apartment building where a mass murder had taken place. And so you're getting this like these weird imagery, like monster-looking people. Different characters will see them in the house in the apartment building. And you're not really sure what's going on or what's real or what's hallucinations. Kind of like it has a more serious tone, but kind of like I have it right here. Bottom feeders.
Oh.
It like if you, it kind of both fit a similar deal, but it's obviously very different in tone. But the art's really cool. I really dug it. It felt very realistic. And I mean, it tells you figure out what it's about immediately. This is not a spoiler. This is like first page.
Wow.
Because she's having all these hallucinations and dreams. And I can't show you most of it because it's very intense. It deals a lot with like racism as well too, like just the way people treat just anyone of a different race and what that means and like how that affects the story overall is really important, and how they deal with people of other religions. And it's just I can't say more than that without giving it away, but I truly recommend it. Oh yeah, thank you. Larry says Infidel is creepy, scary, and sticks with you in a good way. I absolutely agree, Larry. I think I'm going to have to buy this. This might be one of my top horror picks of all time.
That's amazing.
This would translate incredibly well into a movie. They even mention in the beginning there is a foreword. I'm not really sure who this is. She's not the writer. Well, anyways, there's a foreword, and then they talk about like in the age of like Jordan Peele's Get Out. There's a more inclusive era in horror. It's basically what they said. The more inclusive era in horror is emerging, not only making room for inclusive characters all readers can identify with, but using the supernatural to examine the real-life horror facing so many of us: racism, xenophobia, and Islamophobia. And that's exactly this book. Just incredible. And as somebody who's been like a long-time horror fan, seeing the genre grow into this, especially in comic books as well, not just with like movies like Us and Get Out, but into the comic book genre, amazing. Like, I think this should be taught in classes. I think I loved it.
I'm gonna have to go back to my library. I've checked it out like once at least, but it's one of those things. I'll get a stack.
Oh yeah,
and I'll be like, oh, it's due. I gotta bring it back.
It's a very quick read, but I would really like for you to read it. I'd love to get your opinion because I think honestly this is worth like a discussion.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
we'll do it.
Duh, Collector. What's your book of the year? I don't think I can say that yet. We will. Okay. Yeah. So, if you come back and watch us again in December, we always leave time at the end of the year to do kind of like a wrap up and talk about our favorite picks of the year, what we've read. Both books that have come out this year, as well as books that like we have read this year that maybe had come out earlier, and talk about what's our like favorite read. So
yeah, that's when you should get your wish list ready.
Yeah, I need to.
We'll break it
I
down.
always forget. I read so many books. I'm like, because I'm not as organized as some of.
Girl, you gotta stick with Goodreads. I'm telling you, that's how I do it.
I've accepted since getting diagnosed with ADHD this year that's just never going to happen for me. And I've just
maybe January 1st. Maybe you can be like, here's a new leaf. No, okay.
No, I've just accepted. It's just
that's okay.
Happen. Jeremy Wilson, what happened to Freya? Why did she decide to leave? Okay, so you may have missed this, but she did make an announcement a couple shows back. But so basically, Freya just needed to take a break from YouTube and step back. So it's currently indefinite. She just needs to focus on other things. She's still reading comics. She's still posting in our Omnibus Collector group. Nothing has changed with that. We still talk. Nothing has changed. But she just needs to step back. And she said that, like, you know, if she misses it and wants to come back sometime next year or whatever, that's totally open for her. But right now she's just taking some time for herself and her beautiful new cat.
Mm-hmm.
We know Maddie's book of the year is Career with a Crisis. Hayden, no. Hate that book so much. Maddie's favorite read was Secret Wars. Shut up. Both of you. What is this? Fenner's 27 is Black Hammer so far.
Yeah.
You're a big Black Hammer.
Oh my gosh, it's all so good.
I would like to read that too.
Oh, that would be fun. That's worth a discussion.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool. We can definitely do that. All right, that was what I read. Oh, I do have one more. I don't have it physically because it's not out physically yet, but I want to tell you about it.
Okay. I want to know.
Okay. So I read it for Over Your New Reader. It's all on Comixology, so maybe you can get on Hoopla. It's called. Everyone makes fun of me because it feels like a tongue twister. It's These Savage Shores.
Okay. Yeah. I've heard of this.
It's very, very good. So it's a I'd say like horror fantasy or fantasy horror, I guess. It doesn't really matter where I put those words if it's going to change the genre. But anyways, it's those two things. And I use the term horror very lightly. It's just darker. Like, you've got like classic horror creatures, but also not classic. So, you got vampires, but you've also got creatures that are from more like Southeast Asian origin, and it's set like in historical times. So it's like 1766 this is set in, and you're seeing basically like two different sets of characters and their interaction as this goes from England and the East Indies. So during the time of like British colonization of India. And it's really good. There's a lot of like, romantic, but it's done in a very cool way. Lee recommended it to us, and so we read it for Over Your New
fun.
Reader. And I think you'd like it. It's really cool.
I will look it up on Hoopla right now before I forget.
But yeah, it's not released yet physically. I think next month it is. And it's only 5 issues, but I heard we might get more of it, and I hope that we do, because it's pretty neat. So do I watch you live or Jess and Drag pre-recorded?
I mean, if you want nightmares, you can rock on over to that.
I saw his wife post the picture. I didn't know this was going to be a thing.
Yeah, I saw it earlier. It's something.
Like a reward?
Something.
Goal or something?
Yeah.
The true favorite read is the Spice Girls movie announcement article.
True, Hayden. You right.
Iron Cardinal's favorite read this year so far is Midnight Nation. I haven't heard of that.
No, I haven't either.
Let me just type that in so I don't forget about it. Actually, never mind. It's too slow. Okay. Hoopla doesn't have Vault comics on there. Bummer.
Oh, it's Vault. Okay, yeah.
So maybe later, once it gets released, maybe your library will get it.
Or I can tell them to. Lately, I've been telling them to, and they're like, okay.
Anyone know if the new Elvira ongoing is worth checking out? I didn't know there was an Elvira ongoing. Is that a Dynamite thing? It sounds like a Dynamite thing.
I think it's a Dynamite thing, yeah.
I love Elvira. I think she's great. Have you seen the movie, Kristen?
No.
It's one of those, like... it's really cheesy and cute, where she's just, like, this super goth queen, and she moves into this very, like, white bread neighborhood, like, suburban neighborhood. And, all the ladies hate her because their husbands are going to cheat on her with them. Right?
This was funny.
And then she's like, whatever. And she's so ditzy. It's really good. I think you'd like it.
I'll check it out.
It's really goofy. Question for Crit. Oh my gosh. Question
for Question.
God. Have you read Wendy Penny's Elf Quest?
I haven't read this. I've wanted to, though. Especially just because I like those chunky trades. They came out with these chunky trades, and I'm like, oh yeah. But I flipped through it. The art looks really good. My dad's actually talked about it. He hasn't read it, but we've both been like, we should read this. So maybe one day. I feel like I should.
Luis, the Supergirl is kind of hot though. When did this happen?
Same show. That was earlier today. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He did get professional drag makeup done. It
Really?
took like 3 hours apparently. Yeah, he looked like a drag queen.
Damn, I'll check this out. I feel so bad. Like it's on the same channel, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
You had things to do.
I carved pumpkins today.
Well, that's way more exciting.
And
right?
I played Ring Fit Adventure on the Wii or the Wii.
Nice.
Oh my God, on the Switch.
Oh, I knew what you meant.
Old person. I played on the Nintendo.
I only have a Wii U, so I am an old person.
What do you girls know about Vampire Knight manga? I never read Vampire Knight.
I know it exists. That's all I got. I know there's a box set.
Man, I remember that blowing up when I was younger, but I was just something about it didn't work for me. Of
I
course,
didn't like the art.
yeah, I didn't like the art, and this also came out in a time when I was incredibly pretentious about manga. And I read a bunch of other shoujo manga, but Vampire Knight was popular, and so I didn't.
And you're like, no.
So I had to be like, haven't you read Mars? Why have you read Vampire Knight? Come on, read real stuff. I like Slayers. I was such an asshole. I never read Vampire. That's just my long, shitty way to say I've never read Vampire Knight. But a lot of my friends really like it, so I hope you don't take that as me dogging you about it at all. I have a lot of friends that really like it. I never gave it the chance when it came out because I was a douchebag.
I've heard good things. I just know I've seen those covers, and I've been like, I don't like that.
Well, it's very like, will they, won't they? This girl's in this school. Is she gonna get with this guy or this guy? It's very shoujo.
Ah, I see.
Ooh. I guess Luis wasn't too happy about Kelly's Pseudoconic.
He never is. That's his thing.
It's always interesting to see what people get up in arms about. Midnight Nation is by J. Michael Straczynski. Oh, okay.
Cool.
I'd be down to read that then.
Yeah. I like him.
I'm sweet. I need a Switch Lite, but I'm waiting for Animal Crossing.
Oh, I'm so excited about Animal Crossing.
There's so much good stuff out now too, though. Like Fire Emblem's really good. You can, if you haven't played Breath of the Wild, you can play that on the Switch, and that's pretty great. My fiance has been playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Nonstop on the Switch for like 3 weeks. It looks like a Newgrounds game, but apparently it's really fun. And also, you can play Ring Fit Adventure,
which is what you did today.
I did this morning. I impulse bought it yesterday because I've really been wanting it. I know I just complain about not having money, but this is money being spent for me to get fit.
It's necessary.
I like working out, but I also get very bored. And this one, you have to fight. It's like an RPG and a platform.
That's fun.
But you have to run, or else your character doesn't. You have to actually run and do squats to defeat enemies.
Oh, so Ring Fit. Okay, I had no idea what this was as you were talking about it.
There's
That's
like a
fun.
hold, like one controller goes here, one goes on your leg, and it's an RPG. So like I have to do like 28 squats to defeat this monster, and it's so fun.
That's fun.
Did you hear there's going to be a Spice Girls Vegas residency that's possibly canceled now? No.
And if it's
I try not
canceled,
to look anything up about any of it because I don't want to get my hopes up. If they're not going to come to like Chicago,
yeah,
I'm
right.
never going to see them. We live in Kentucky. There's no,
Yeah, come to Chicago or Atlanta, or else.
that's the only way to see anyone ever. And then every once in a while, someone will come to Kentucky, and it's like a whole big thing.
Someone's in Louisville, and you're like, oh my gosh.
Well,
That's
shit, I
close
did
to
the
me.
murders here. I guess we have to go.
We have to.
What's your opinion on post-crisis on Infidel Batman up until Flashpoint? According to me, that's the definitive Batman. Oh, so I'm going to be honest with you right now. I haven't read much Batman during that time period, so I'm not the person to ask. To me, that's an Omar question for sure over me. I hope that doesn't make you like me less. Maddie, since you like manga a good bit, can you guess Hosei Otaku Bros? I'm gonna be
just Maddie.
I
Just Maddie likes manga.
Yeah, we both do. Well, so I'm in the chat for Otaku Bros, and I've just been really bad about.
I am too. I didn't know you were in there. You know what I ended up doing? They end up sending a lot of messages, and I mute it for like 24 hours because I'm like, I don't have time. I'm sorry.
We are such pieces of shit. Oh my god.
That's not what that means.
You're right. You're right.
There's things going on, and they're going on and on about things I don't know about.
No, I do super feel guilty though, because when they did the first one, I was like, why didn't anybody invite me? And then it got to the point where I was like, well, I'm really busy.
Yeah.
I want to talk about anime, but it's never a thing I can talk about at the time. And then
I think the answer to that is we're both actually welcome on the show. They've been very kind.
We just have to say yes.
We haven't had a chance to do it. Yeah. Right now, my schedule cannot do that, unfortunately.
I just want you all to know that I love Gio so much, and I would love to do a show with him because we've never actually talked in real life.
Gio's awesome.
He's just the best.
He's so sweet.
He's the sweetest. I love him. Gio's like... He's top tier boy. You know what I mean?
He rocks our thumbnails. We don't give him enough credit for that. He's rocking those thumbnails. Thank you, Gio.
Gio, if you're listening, I hope you forgive me for not having done an Otaku Bro show yet. I also hope you know that I love you.
Yeah, we both honestly want to be on that show. That would be really fun. We should just take over together.
Okay, there we go.
That'd be fun.
You know what? That maybe is something.
That's the idea. Yeah.
So we need friendship power to be like,
yeah. Like, we should both, like, lock hands. Oh, there's my arm. Lock arms and, like, crap. One day.
Gio was great. He's giving me some amazing recommendations. Yeah, Gio's wonderful about it. He's got incredibly good taste. Omnibus is like a middle school dance. Boys on the one side, girls on the other. When will they meet? Well, you watch season, you watch my over and new reader. Omar and I meet all the time, and then Kristen and Jess do stuff together.
Yeah, that counts.
And eventually, it'll be like a con all at the same time.
Someday,
we want a crossover. We should.
I've crossed over into the Thursday show. It's been a bit, but with Gio and Jess months ago. But yeah, we should bring a bro on. That would be fun.
I'd be down. Oh, look at all this love for Gio.
Oh,
I love
watch.
Oh, you girls are top tier.
Oh,
thank you for saying that, even though I didn't properly answer your questions.
You did.
I like your icon though. Oh, Matthew says, but that's near mint condition. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You know. Batman Dan brought all the Omnibros together. What would bring all bros and girls together? Well, it could have been Heroes in Crisis, but I was too busy then.
That's a good question, though. Where would that? Yeah.
Well, it's hard too because it would probably have to be something like a newer event or series that we're all interested in reading. And that's hard too because I don't keep up with a lot of current Marvel stuff. I don't know. That'd be a pretty big event.
That thing could be Immortal Hulk.
I could do that.
That could be a thing.
Yeah.
Someday.
You know, we should all get together for like a show at the end of the year, though.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
That would be
just have a million people on. Everyone's internet would freeze. It'll be a blast.
It would be garbage. But that'd be fun.
Can you imagine? I don't even know. What is the limit on this thing?
I don't know. How many people can you have?
We actually got all the bros on. And we brought Faria back.
Yeah.
We would all just
get together. Everyone would interrupt each other. It would be
oh my gosh. Yeah, that would be something.
You know what? I kind of want to try.
It'd be fun.
Well, you know what we could do to make it easier? Let's get let's figure out how to get you over here, and I'll get Omar over. At least we can condense a little bit of it.
We'll all share a microphone.
Faria can go to Jess's house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just make Faria come back for this.
Oh, Hayden said 5G. If we get more information about it, this is a new DC thing. Kristen, if you're at all interested at all, we did a video on the DC timeline and how angry it makes me.
I saw that. I meant to watch it just because I wanted to see you guys get angry.
Oh my gosh. I cannot describe to you how much I hate and love DC. It's just so bad. Oh gosh. Maddie and Kristen, do you both have a favorite book of all time? What are they?
Essex County by Jeff Lemire.
Wow.
I have a tattoo. I mean,
wow.
I'm committed to it.
Oh, I don't think I can pick one. I'm not good at favorites. I have a favorite movie. And I do have a favorite movie, and I have a favorite anime movie, but it wouldn't be what you would think. But as far as favorite book, I don't think I can choose
But what's the movie? You can't just say that.
It's You've Got Mail.
Oh, that's cute.
My favorite one. It's one of those I have a list of movies that I think are the best movies ever. But as far as what my personal favorite movie is, You've Got Mail.
I feel that.
So, I can't pick a favorite book though. Not even a favorite novel.
Yeah, that's hard.
I feel like it's something. I don't know. In my mind, I want to say Jane Eyre or Little Women. Maddie, come on, you can do better. Lionheart made a pitch to Omnibus that they should do a trivia show with the Fangirls, split everyone into teams.
I don't think I'd be good at that. I don't think I'd be good at that at all. I mean, it sounds fun, I guess. Well, if it's Friends trivia, I'm there. If it's Gilmore Girls trivia, let me know. If it's Buffy trivia, we definitely got you.
Well, see, that would be the thing. It would need to be an even playing field. So you can't just do the big two. You need to do other publishers, and then we'd be fine.
Yeah.
And
that would be hard to even come up with questions for other publishers, right? It's not a big universe that you can pick from.
No, because I do feel you and I have potentially a more diverse knowledge when it comes to other publishers.
Mm-hmm.
I think I read a lot more Dynamite than some of the guys. We definitely read more first, second than
yeah, 100%.
And potentially, I think more Boom.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So, and anything LGBT. I mean, not to dog on anybody, but
yeah, that's definitely true. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and a lot more female-led books too. I think I read more than Omar.
Mm-hmm.
Did you? Most ambitious crossover since Endgame. You can fight Wonder Woman Jess and Supergirl Lou on Fangirls. I'd be super down.
Yeah, that could be our thing. Hey, you have to be in track if you're on the
show. DC has a timeline. I thought they were just winging it. No, they've announced a real timeline. They did it at NYCC. It's garbage. I hate it. They're really dumb. Favorite book is Dune. I like Dune. Video was fun. DC timeline needs to be shut ignored. Preach. DC had a timeline before the announcement. Yeah, but now it's I don't know. It's dumb. They just need to stop. Didio needs to leave. Just stop. Give it to Jeff Johns. Dan Didio needs to fucking leave the company. Man, there's so many things. Favorite all the time is The Crow. I like The Crow. Looks like Matthew and Hayden are both in
nice
for Friends trivia.
Yeah, let's do it.
Kristen, what's your favorite Buffy season?
Maddie, you can answer this too. It's so hard though. I like
no idea.
I know. I like every season for reasons. I would say number one is probably my least favorite, which is easy to say because there's barely episodes in it, and it's the beginning, and there's not much going on, right?
Yeah.
But I have favorite episodes. I can do episodes better than I can seasons. Let me just throw out some off the top of my head. I don't have a favorite. I have favorites, right? You got your Once More the Feeling, of course.
Well, that's my favorite episode.
Come on. Tabula Rasa right after, also amazing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so there's great things in season 6, but there's also horrible things in season 6, right? Like really bad stuff. And a lot of people crap on season 7, but Storytellers, one of my all-time favorite episodes, so good. Um, Potential, I also loved. People Hate Dawn, I loved that episode, and that was season 7. Lover's Walk in season 3, one of my all-time favorites, when Spike comes back.
Mm.
The Body, season 5.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's really hard to
Ugh,
pick favorite
it's
season.
hard.
Every season has just its really good
Yeah.
like picks.
Hush, season 4. I mean, it's hard.
Oh gosh,
It's hard. It's so hard. There's just great things throughout everything.
Okay, so we're gonna have to probably shut this off now, even though there's some wonderful more comments in the chat because we both need to go to bed.
Someday.
But I just want to say thank you again to everybody. I think we've got some really good ideas about how we want to kind of restructure the show, just to make this give us more like ideas going on and more variety. And you know, just thank you again always for being here and hanging out with us because I really do appreciate talking to all of you, and you guys are so cool.
Definitely. And like we said earlier, please leave comments of, you know, things you want to see from us, books you would like to read with us. That would be really fun. I think we should definitely do that. Thank you, Hayden. You know, any ideas, please let us know.
Yeah.
We are open.
All right. And don't forget to buy your books from InStockTrades.com, our wonderful sponsor, where I would buy from anyways, even if they were not a sponsor.
That's right.
And that's where all, you know, that's where all our sponsorship money goes. So really
seriously. Yeah.
Anything. So yeah. Have a good night.
And be sure to use the code WEEKEND2, which ends tonight. That is an extra 3% off your IST purchase.
Oh, and also, so a week from now, next Sunday, we'll have a special guest, Tina, from my other channel, Near Mint Conditions, going to join us to do a manga-centric episode. So join us again if you're interested in learning more about manga. I'm not sure what genre we're going to focus on, but we will do manga talk.
Actually, if you guys have thoughts on that, leave comments. If there's certain manga you want us to talk about or you want to hear about, let us know.
Yeah. And good night, guys.
Have a good night.
See you next week.